Our top story at the moment, in what could spell trouble for former Delhi Minister Somnath Bharti, the National Human Rights Commission has directed the Delhi police to investigate his role in a late-night raid on a suspected drug and prostitution den in the capital. The Delhi police had initially registered a case against unknown suspects after a woman who was accosted by Bharti's men reported the incident that took place mid-January. 4 African women, 2 Nigerian and 2 Ugandans were allegedly assaulted by the group. The incident sparked off an argument against a local police officer who refused to enter their home without a warrant. In fact, a medical test later confirmed that the women were drug-free.
I am very happy that the NHRC has ruled in my favor and has given a very strict time-bound mandatory order to Delhi Police Commissioner that action should be taken on my complaint against Mr. Somnath Bharti in the Ugandan racist attack case. The case that I had made out before the commission was that Mr. Bharti had not only violated the human rights of the Ugandan women, but he had also violated several provisions of Indian Penal Code.
Smanit Patra of the BJP is now joining us on the phone line. Smanit, would the BJP welcome this action by the NHRC asking for an inquiry in a time-bound manner by Delhi police in the case?
The Janata Party has been asking for the same right from the very beginning, and we had always stood on the ground that whatever Mr. Somnath Bharti did was detrimental not only for the relation of India with the international world, but it also sent a very wrong signal as far as the women's safety in Delhi was concerned.
Now, do you think that the time-bound manner investigation that the NHRC has asked will put pressure on the Aam Aadmi Party and Somnath Bharti equally just ahead of elections?
It will only put pressure. I believe the Aam Aadmi Party has already been under considerable pressure, but I don't understand the reason as to why, in spite of all the major government authorities and constitutional bodies speaking against Mr. Somnath Bharti's action, I don't understand why Mr. Arvind Kejriwal is hell-bent on protecting Mr. Somnath Bharti. And if you would remember, to the extent that Mr. Kejriwal and his whole team went on the dharna mode in order to protect Mr. Somnath Bharti, I believe with the NHRC report being submitted today, now it is high time when Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has to answer the public of India and probably expel Mr. Somnath Bharti from the party as well.
Do you think that it would have been better for the Aam Aadmi Party to have perhaps accepted their mistake and not gone on the defensive?
Definitely, and in fact, it was not just the Bharatiya Janata Party, but cutting across party lines, this was the demand. It was a demand from the common people of India. But ironically, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who speaks about the high moral ground in Indian politics, acted in defiance with his own stand and went on a dharna mode to protect his own minister, defying minister. And I believe this speaks quite low of the Aam Aadmi Party's credentials also. If they have to come out clean on this whole issue, they should probably sack Mr. Somnath Bharti immediately.
And do you think that the manner in which Somnath Bharti went about that midnight raid tarnished India's image to some extent? Was that a concern of the BJP that it had also expressed?
Definitely, and if you remember, I had gone on air and saying that that was the time when Ms. Devyani Khobragade case was also going on with America. And so naturally, when India was demanding justice for Devyani Khobragade from America, how come that the Ugandan women were being mistreated over here in India? So it was but natural that the international pressure was also quite high. In fact, if you will remember, the South African consulate also had spoken to the Indian High Commission. So I believe that the message that was sent out to this whole episode was really bad, and right step has been initiated by the National Human Rights Commission.
The National Human Rights Commission now asking the Delhi police to investigate the matter and the role of Somnath Bharti in a time-bound manner. Smanit Patra, they're expressing the views of the BJP. Many thanks, Smanit. Atir Khan is now joining us with more details on the story. Atir, so far, what has the Delhi police said about this midnight raid that was carried out by Somnath Bharti?
Well, you see, the Delhi police had already registered a case in this connection, but it was against the unknown persons. Now that the NHRC has taken cognizance of this matter, and as we know that NHRC has its own procedures, and it has found merit in the allegations, and thereafter it has issued notice to the Delhi Police Commissioner. Now it is, in all likelihood, Mr. Somnath Bharti will be examined in this matter, because there's a specific role which has been asked to look into in a time-bound manner. So there's possibility that he might be called in for questioning to defend him on the charges, on the allegations which have been leveled against him.
Also, Atir, we do know that the Delhi police and one of its officers had refused to go ahead and look into the houses of these women that Somnath Bharti was pressing them to do without a warrant. What has the Delhi police said about that particular issue?
Well, that's right. We know that we saw visuals of a senior Delhi police officer being directed by Mr. Somnath Bharti to carry out an investigation in a particular manner, which is totally illegal because the courts cannot direct any police to carry out investigation in a particular manner which he or she deems to be proper. It's just the prerogative of the police to examine or to carry out raids as per the procedures. So thereafter they had registered a case, they are examining, they are carrying out the internal inquiry into that matter. But now, since NHRC has issued notice, there will be pressure on police to submit their report in a time-bound manner.
Atir Khan, many thanks for getting us those details.